So in this plyometric video, we are going to focus on 1 rep maxing, or really getting that maximum force out of our muscles. So really looking at the power explosive element. If you haven't already, I would advise doing our introduction to plyometrics video, which is available on the website. Plyometrics is amazing, but it needs to be done properly. So if you haven't done plyometrics before, or you haven't seen that video, please do go and take a look at it. Hopefully you've done the endurance video as well. Really, really useful to condition your body for plyometrics. So for this, again, we're going to be using the plyometrics boxes. This is brilliant for games players, anything that's a real explosive power element. So rugby, hockey, football, things like that, where we need to jump or explode into certain movements. This also will massively benefit people like cyclists, people like runners. It gets that explosive element or speed element into our legs. So again, if we're looking to sprint on the bike or accelerate or change speed very quickly, it really can help with that. Again, same thing for runners, especially when you come to things like cross country, where you might need to give yourself a little kick up of a hill. So here we go again. We've got the boxes set out. We are going to change the boxes as we go, and again, they can be amended to your level of plyometrics, so you can go up or down with those. To start with, we're just going to activate the muscles. Hopefully you're nice and warm before you've done this. A really good warm-up for plyometrics is the glute activation warm-up I have on my website. So maybe go and do that video, or a version of that video, before we get stuck into these. So here we go. What we're going to do is, again, we're going to start with the jump squats. So we're going to start with our feet just slightly wider than shoulder width apart, and then we're going to go down into the squat. We're going to keep our knees nice and solid, not let them drop in, and then we're going to jump up into 5 jump squats. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then just give a little rest, shake the legs out, and then we're going to go again. So 5 more. Get a nice solid base, activate the glutes, 4 and 5, okay, and then shake off. We're then going to start, again, not necessarily a plyometric movement, but it gets everything flowing and used to the movements. It really switches our glutes on as well. So we're going to go into a step up lunge. So to do this, all we want to do, start with medium level box, and we're just going to start with our foot up onto it. And again, we're going to focus on a nice strong movement using our glutes to push us up. So we don't want to be thrusting ourselves up with our hands. We want to be using our glute. So try not to use your hands too much. Keep your knee nice and solid. Go up to meet it with the other hand. And again, nice and slow on the way down. So we're getting that eccentric movement into our legs as well. And we're going to do 5 of these on each leg. Try not to push up with your left leg too much, so you're trying to get the real engagement for the leg that's up. So again, nice smooth movement all the way up. You should feel your quads working, and you should feel your glutes working quite nicely as well. Again, 5 on this side. 4, 5, and back down. Okay, from here, we're going to go, no boxes for this one, we're going to go into plyometric lunges. So all we're going to do is go into the lunge position, and then from there we're going to explode up, and we're going to swap legs as we explode, okay? And we're going to focus on, again, so we're going to be doing repetitions of this, but we want a little pause in between, so we really want to focus on that one strong, solid movement. So here we go, start my right leg forward, and then we're going to explode up and swap legs. And again, pause, nice strong landing between each. Swapping my hands over as I go. Little pause. Again, really focusing on driving up with my front leg and engaging that glute, and this will start to burn quite quickly. Okay, we're going to do 5 in total, and then we're going to start with our opposite leg. So we're doing 3 reps and 2 reps on each leg. So this time I'm going to start with my left leg out in front of me, and again I'm going to go for 5. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've done 10 on each side, okay? And already I can start to feel my body's working quite hard. Because this is quite intense, your heart rate will really respond quickly, and our breath will go into oxygen debt quite quickly as well, so we'll become out of breath relatively soon. Okay, we're then going to advance that movement. So we're still going to be doing a lunge plyometric jump, but this time we're going to be starting with our foot up again. So we're going to combine the 2 movements we just did. So I'm going to start with my right leg up, and then all I'm going to do is the same movement as I just did, but but it's going to be plyometric explosive movement this time, so I'm going to be adding jump in, okay? So start from there. Again, I'm trying not to push off too much with my left leg, and I'm trying not to use my hands too much as well. And it's all going to be on the leg, so include the jump and the land is going to be on one leg. So from here I'm going to go up and land. I'm going to go back down, up, and I'm going to go for 5 of these. Little pause in between to make sure I'm focusing on good explosive movement each time. 4, 5, and then swap over, and same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax back down. Straight away I can feel quads really burning, and my glute is really burning as well. Because this is more explosiveness, I'm really getting that burn quickly into my muscles. From here, we're then still going to be using that. So we're going to initially be squatting now. And I'm actually going to raise the box a little bit for this one. So the squat is going to be a little bit easier. Effectively, this is going to be like a 1 rep max jump we come on to in a minute. So slightly higher box. I'm going to drop the box down in a minute when I come into the lunge because it's going to be one leg, but I will show you that in a sec. So from here, same as before, so we're going to stand slightly back from the box. We're going to preload our muscles, and then we're just going to do 1 jump up onto the box. And again, this is where we want to start to push ourselves. So already our muscles are getting used to it. We're getting into the plyometrics session. So we want to start to push ourselves. We're still going to try and 1 rep max at the end, but now we want to really get those muscles firing quite intensely, which is why I've gone up with the box. So again, I can start to use my hands a little bit more here. 2 feet, nice and strong with my knees, engage my glutes, and it's going to be a preload the muscles, get the kinetic energy, and then straight up in. So I don't want to pause at the bottom of the squat. So here we go, and land. And then we're going to have a little bit of a longer pause in between. If we think we can go higher with the box, we can add some height. So again, we're not doing repetitions here, so we're really trying to get the most out of our muscles each time. You should feel like each time you do it, you really are pushing your muscles to its maximum. Okay, if you think you can go higher, then please do. If you think you can go lower, then please do. If you're doing this at home, again, try and modify whatever you're landing on. If you're doing it in the gym using the plyometric boxes, then awesome. So straight away already I'm looking at that thinking, God, that's quite high. That's going to be a bit of a challenge, but I think I can do it. So here we go. Nice little rest for the muscles, and then just into the squat, up onto the box. So, and up. Okay, again, quite happy with that. As I've noticed, probably a little bit more arm movement on this one, as I'm really trying to push myself, expand up onto the box. And then relax between. This is where we can start to push ourselves. So, again, if you're happy with that, if you've comfortably succeeded twice, add another box. Make sure it's nice and secure. If you're using the plyometrics boxes, the Velcro on the sides can fasten them, because there is a chance that I'm going to kick this one and fail. Failing's fine. Make sure in a safe environment. You need to be pushing yourself to the limit. So I'm not actually sure I'm going to be able to do this one. This would normally be an outtake, but obviously in this whole video routine, it's definitely not going to be. So exactly the same. I'm stood a little bit further away from the box this time, because I'm going to need to give myself a little bit more time to get up and onto the box. No pre-movement, just the preloading of the muscles in terms of the squat. And again, I've given my muscles a nice long rest. So here we go. And up. Okay, again, going to give myself a bit of a rest because that was quite a big effort. Straight away I felt my heart respond almost instantly. I probably can't go any higher than that, so I'm not going to try for now. In subsequent weeks I might be able to. So here we go again. So a little bit harder that time, as the muscles are a little bit fatigued. Okay, we're going to do 5 of those in total. Try and do increase through each time you do it, so you don't necessarily want to do 5 at the same height. So start at a height you're relatively comfortable with, and then begin to work your way up a bit. I'm then going to change back down to a lower box again. The reason I'm going to do this is because now we're going to do that same movement, but instead of doing a squat, we're going to do a lunge. So it's all going to be on one leg, a lot harder. And again, we're trying to address those muscle balances. So what I'm going to do, same as a squat, I'm going to preload the muscles into the lunge position, and then I'm going to explode up and get the jump a lot harder, effectively twice as hard because we're only using one leg. So again, into the lunge, drive up. So all off the right leg, we're jumping off the right, we're landing on the right. So here we go, dogs come along to support, down and up. Okay, and we're trying not to pause at the bottom, so we want that kinetic energy. So here we go, reverse lunge and up. Quite a heavy landing, a little bit off balance on landing there. It's quite a difficult movement. Try and improve that this time, softer landing. So a lot better. And again, as we teach our brain the movement, we should get better each time. So again, if you need to amend the box, do. If you need to go lower, fine. If you need to go higher, again, correct form in the first couple of reps. We're going to do 5 of these. I'm going to try and progress. So again, and a lot better. So I felt quite comfortable that time. So I'm going to try, which one can we go to? This one here. So we're going to try and increase the box. We're really trying to 1 rep max again. So really trying to push myself. Again, looking at that, thinking, blimey, I might not be able to do this one, but that's fine. I know if I fail, I'm only going to kick the box and fall onto it. And I'm trying to push my muscles. So I'm giving myself a little bit of a longer rest between this one. I know that I could do the 18, so I've added 6 on. So this is 24. I should be able to do this. I should be comfortable with it. So here we go. Okay, and one more. I felt myself push off my left leg a little bit there. So we're going to try again. That's better. Okay, and up. Okay, we're then going to swap onto our left leg. So I'm going to go back to the smaller box. I know my left leg isn't quite as strong. And again, starting out, I want to do something I'm quite comfortable with. So left leg forward, lunge, and then jump. And the same thing happened there, so it was a really heavy landing. You can probably hear that through the microphone. So again, I want to try and improve on that, teach my brain I can do that better. So here we go. Again, a little jump or unbalance on landing, so I'm not really nailing this one. So I want to try again at this height. There we go. For the last one, I'm going to try the higher box. Again, not sure if I'll be able to do this, but I want to push myself. So, same as before, I'm going to stand a little bit further back. Give my muscles a nice long rest. Just imagine what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, how it's going to feel, and then we're going to go into it. So, felt good, felt about my limit. Again, a bit of a heavy landing. So, one more, complete the 5th rep. Nice, felt really strong. Okay, so that's all of the explosive movements. What we're going to do now is we're going to go into a preloaded box jump, and this is where we should be able to reach our maximum height that we can. So when we're talking 1 rep maxing, this is the movement we're going to do for it. For this, you're going to take a run up, you're going to get the most amount of kinetic energy through the muscles that you can. That's how we can jump higher. If you think long jump, they jump in 8 odd meters, they have a really long run up, they're increasing the kinetic energy. So for this, I'm going to take a few steps back from the box, and then all I'm going to do is walk into it, double foot, squat into the jump. So combining all the movements we just did, combining the trigger movements we've done before in the introduction to plyometrics. So I'm going to come into it, and straight away, with that bit of preloaded movement, I can feel that that is a lot easier. So when I just did the squat, I'm using that kinetic energy. Okay, get used to the movement, get used to doing that, feel nice and comfortable with the jump beforehand, and now start to push yourself. Okay, keep working our way up a bit. Again, hopefully, well, not hopefully, but you're likely to see a fail on this. So I'm going to keep going until I fail, basically, and you'll see how you can make this safe. So even if you are not quite successful at attempting it, all you're going to do is kick the box and you'll just end up landing on the box like that. When you're doing this, try not to put your hands down unless you have failed. So if you haven't got quite high enough, and again, you'll see how that works out in a moment. Just going to move the camera up a little bit so you can see the extra height. Okay, so here we go. So again, taking a bit of a run up. The more of a run up you have at it, the more kinetic energy you're going to get, the higher you're going to get. So because I've gone higher, I'm going to come back a little bit further, and I'm going to just increase that initial step into it. It's going to be a little bit more this time. So I really needed that extra kinetic energy for that one. So that was a real big effort. So again, little rest in between. I'm going to try one more at this height, and then I'm going to try and go a little bit higher again. Okay, here we go. So just prepare myself again, just imagining what it feels like, what a successful attempt is going to feel like. Longer run up, really explode into it, get a nice jump and feel the muscles rebounding all of that energy into upward force. So here we go. And a nice soft landing, that felt good. Okay, so happy with that. I'm going to add another 6 on. So really getting that explosive force out of our muscles now. Again, if I move the camera back. So you do want to take a nice long rest between. Go and take a drink. Go and set yourself ready for your next jump. Just have a swig of water. And again, just come up to the box. Imagine what a successful attempt is going to feel like. If you're, depending on how experienced you are doing plyometrics, will depend on how high you're going to go with this. Try and keep track, similar if you're weight training or if you're endurance training, try and keep track of where you've been before, and then you can try and add a little bit on next time. Again, why these boxes are good, because they have differing heights. You can keep slowly adding a little bit on. So total up, these have got inches on, so total up how many you can do. Try and do a few more next time. Don't rush this. So again, plyometrics, you should probably only be doing this about once a week. So don't think, what is it today? Tuesday, I don't think, oh, I'll come back on Thursday and I'll try and go a little bit higher. Okay? Once a week is plenty. Do take your time with this. Okay. Nice long rest for the muscles. So here we go. I'm not quite sure how this is going to end up. I might hit my head on the light. Right. Real big run up this time. So again, I'm trying to increase that load through the muscles. So this is going to be quite a big pre-jump before I get into the movement. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do this. So here we go. So just about, although I did cheat a little bit, so you saw my hands go down just because I wasn't quite sure if I was going to be able to do the movement. So I'm going to try again, see if I can do that without my hands. I know I've got the height, I know I can get up onto it, so this time I'm going to try and do it nice clean landing without use of the hands. Giving my muscles a rest again, so I'm using a lot of ATPs as explosive movements, so I want time to recover. Don't want to be doing this too fatigued. This is going to be my last jump now, so I'm really going to give this one everything. So it's a shortish session because we're not looking for that fatigue, we're just looking for that explosive power. Just a few more seconds, again just imagining what does a successful jump feel and look like, and then we're going to go for it. So coming back, taking my time, looking where I'm going to land and looking the initial land, and then I'm looking where I'm going to land up onto the box. So here we go. I'm going to try not to put my hands down. There we go. And that felt like it was pretty much at the end of my range. Doesn't matter what your height is, it's not a competition by any means. All you're trying to do is progress each time. So even if you're you're just jumping up onto the 18s, again, it depends how long you do this. I do this quite a lot. So I can push myself each time. If you're new to it, start lower. Again, if you're doing it at home, just progress up whatever you're using as the boxes. I can feel now my legs quite fatigued, so that was only a very short session, but I can really feel that in my quads. There you go. Hope you enjoyed that as a session. If you're doing that in the gym, if you're doing it at home, please do be careful with the failing. But but as long as you're using something soft and you have something safe around you to fall onto, again, if you feel like you're not quite going to make it, putting your hands down is fine, as you saw in that first video. But yeah, do try and hit that maximum height that you can. Hope you really enjoyed that. We will be doing lots more plyometric stuff. We'll have a look at some upper body plyometrics. We'll have a look at how we can use plyometrics for injury prevention and also more for a game scenario. So we'll look at sort of lateral movements and things like that for games players. And there'll also be one specifically for things like cycling and running, which will be included in some of the S&C routines we have for those guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Go and give your legs a nice rest. Go and get a bit of water because I'm sure you'll need it. I can feel my quads. Feeling nice and fatigued. Thank you for watching and keep your eyes out for more content.